All right, everyone. So I just wanted to thank everyone for joining us this evening. Dysautonomia International is joined with Beth Gibney, who is a yoga and meditation teacher and a fellow dysautonomia patient. So she is very understanding of what all of us go through. So she's going to be talking about mindfulness for chronic illness. I did want to take this opportunity to let everyone know that this session is recorded so that you can go back at a later date and review it on Dysautonomia International's webpage. If you do have questions during this, you can type your question in the chat and Beth can answer them at the end. If you are not on mute, if you could please mute yourself, that way there's no disturbances. Beth, I'm going to give you the floor, and I know that you have an extensive background, so if there's anything that I missed about you that you want to share, do. But I'm going to mute myself, and I'm excited about this class. So let's get started.
So thank you, Katie. I am very happy to be here. Thank you, Dysautonomia International, for organizing these wellness classes for all of us. I don't know if all of you have taken time to check them out, but there is a wide variety of wellness options available. And I want to thank Lauren Stiles, the president of Dysautonomia International, for reaching out to me to ask me to be here tonight. I have been teaching yoga and meditation for about 15 years. I've been practicing far longer than that. My personal journey began by reaching out for meditation, reaching out for yoga, beginning to study that just 2 months before illness began, more than half of my life ago. So I've actually never really experienced one without the other. So for me, all mindfulness practices have become very helpful and essential in managing my personal care, my mental wellness through my life journey. So tonight I'll offer you a practice. It's truly an experience, meaning it's not a lecture, it's more of an experience so that you can feel what it's like to relax and let go. So one of the questions that we've begun with is, what's the difference between mindfulness and meditation, and how can this be called mindfulness meditation? Mindfulness is the practice of choosing to be present. It's the practice of being present. This can be a challenge for busy minds, and I believe that when discomfort, or pain, distraction, or the impact of our chronic illness pops up, it can be even harder for us to choose to be present. Now, we know from research, we know from experience, I certainly know from experience, that mindfulness and meditation being a form of mindfulness, reduces stress, alleviates pain, calms the body, gives us clarity in mind, allows our body to heal and grow. Ultimately, it's a worthy journey to go on, to journey into the present moment. It can take some courage to journey into the present moment, especially when chronic illness is present, or like tonight, it's actually on the agenda. And any journey is a little bit easier when we have a friend. So I'm grateful to be here with you in community, and know that I'm here with you as a patient and as an instructor to help guide you into the present moment. We'll be using awareness of the present moment to steady ourselves, to steady the mind. We'll focus on the breath, and I'll also offer a visualization. So visualization meditation is a different type of meditation, but they weave together fairly well. So let's begin by exhaling completely. Let all the tension of the day go, let it all out. There's nothing to do but be here, no place to go, but be here. We can inhale deeply and exhale completely. This practice will bring an awareness of breath. The breath is happening in this moment. So we tend to focus on the breath in mindfulness and in meditation because the breath is happening right now. So you could stay with this very natural awareness of a gentle breath. Or we can shift into what I call a letting go breath. We inhale through our nose and exhale like we're blowing out a candle. Inhale through your nose and exhale like you're blowing out a candle. You can continue with your breath rhythm. Your breath rhythm will be different than all those around you. Continue this steady breath, and the next time that you exhale, you can make a wish. Just like if you blew out a candle, if you could receive anything from our practice together tonight, even if it seemed like a miracle, what would you wish for? Your breath rhythm will continue with awareness or without. It's been with you all day. This breath is with you now. And we can choose to enhance the breath rhythm by letting go this time with a sigh. Inhale through your nose, exhale with a soft, relaxed throat. You can make a loud sound, a quiet sound, or no sound at all. Inhale fully. Exhale. We're arriving in the present moment. Shoulders can soften. Hands can be still. As we focus on the breath and allow the breath to roll in and roll out, your mind will wander. That's what minds do. So we can choose a connection breath. In yoga, we call it a mudra, where we can bring our finger to gently touch our thumb. So I'll give you options. This is one option. I'm holding my hand up just so you can see. Inhale and exhale as your finger touches your thumb. With the next breath cycle, touch the next finger to the thumb. Again, at your own pace, your own rhythm. So every time your mind wanders tonight, choose to be mindful. Choose to stay here. The journey into the present moment is worth the effort. You can let your hand rest. If fingers are not accessible to you, another way to stay present with breath is simply to gently press palms or hands into wherever they've landed. Perhaps your bed, your legs. You can stay with sensation in a very gentle, kind way. Let your breath rhythm flow steadily now. See if you can let go of any tension, any holding. As you breathe at your own pace, you can begin to gaze at one point. You might lower your gaze. Sometimes lowering our gaze limits some of the information that's coming in. Some will choose to close their eyes. Now is the perfect time to focus on your natural rhythm, your natural way of being. And as we begin to go inside, I welcome all parts of you to be here with us now. I welcome your doubts and your hopes. I welcome your visible and your invisible challenges to be present with us. I welcome the emotions that you freely show the world. And I welcome the emotions that stay in the shadows. I welcome the parts of you that are healthy and the parts of you that are experiencing illness at this time. This breath leads you into the present moment where all aspects of your being are welcome. We relax in this moment. Notice if any parts of you have already softened. Know that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Breath flows in like a wave. and releases back to its source. Keep your awareness on breath, flowing in and flowing out. Each breath that releases, each exhalation, takes with it one stress, one sensation, one tension that no longer serves you. The wave of breath reminds us of the ocean. In your mind's eye, begin to see an ocean by a sandy shore. You can choose to move closer towards the ocean's edge, or choose a spot in the shade that's just right for you. In your mind's eye, you can imagine the perfect ocean setting to observe the waves and hear the sounds of the sea. Feel how the temperature is just right. Notice the waves that flow in and flow out. See the color of the sea in front of you. Notice the color and the texture of the sand. Do you choose to walk or be still? In your mind's eye, you can travel with limitless energy and no fatigue. See the tall grasses that sway in the distance. Notice the stones in the landscape. You might notice seashells, small pebbles. Every detail unique to your imagination. Soften into your seat or the sand. Let your toes relax. Your legs can be still. There's nowhere to go. This is time to simply be. Shoulders let go of all responsibilities. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to change. Listen to the sounds of the birds as they dive towards the waves. Look to the sky to see the shape of the clouds. We hear the sounds of the waves, each coming from the same source. When you look at the waves, do you notice their similarities or their differences? When you look to the waves, do you label them good or bad? Perhaps each wave serves a purpose. We welcome all the waves as we look to the sea. We welcome them without judgment. As we rest on the coast, we feel the sea is a powerful source of energy that can fuel us. Allow your batteries to charge. The sun warms the earth. The earth sends its energy up through our soft feet, up through legs. A gentle glow rises up through our spine, through arms and hands. Allow yourself to be filled with life force energy. Feel complete. The waves draw our attention once again. They flow in and flow out. Our thoughts are like waves. They flow in and flow out. We choose to steady our mind. We choose to notice, see the wave, and let it go. Our emotions are like the sounds of the waves as they land on the shore. The emotions are where mind and body meet. Can you welcome all of your waves of thought and emotion as easily as you welcome all the waves of the sea? Can you notice them and let them release without judgment? They flow in and flow out. Allow your body to shift into comfort as you see the waves in your mind's eye. Attention drifts to the waves of our own thoughts. Can you welcome thoughts of resistance? Welcome thoughts of kindness. Can you welcome the achy knees? Welcome the fears, the worries about what the future holds. Welcome your perseverance. And welcome your hope. Our thoughts and emotions are as temporary as the waves of the sea. You are not these thoughts. You are not these emotions. You are the land. You are the sandy shore, affected by waves over time. Notice which waves affect your sandy shore. And notice that as we choose our thoughts, we choose the positive waves that shape the sea, that shape the shore. You are changed by time, by thought and emotion. You are the witness to change. What change would you like to welcome into your life at this time? Watch the sea send it to you on a wave. Receive it. Then dare to let go and watch it come back to you again. We receive everything we need in perfect timing. Feel the rhythm of the waves of your life. Feel the life force flowing through you more powerfully than when we began. You have the power to choose the waves that come to shore. You have the power to choose your thoughts and your emotions. Give your thanks to this ocean scene. Take a moment to breathe, relax, and feel what this scenery has offered you. When it feels right to you, choose to shift from the shore back to this community, the one gathered here now, choosing peace, choosing stillness. Bring the gentlest movement to the edges of you, fingers or toes. Notice the sensation you feel now in arms or legs. Let your belly rise and fall with breath. We're choosing to come into this moment, choosing to remain peaceful and still. And if you can hear the sound of my voice, you might choose to activate your heart center by bringing one palm to the center of your chest, or maybe two. We bring peace to our heart. This journey in body is full of challenge. We must choose peace every chance we get. What's one act of kindness that you can offer yourself this week in addition to this program, to this time? We choose kindness. We choose gratitude. What are you thankful for in this moment? In the stillness, the heart speaks. What is your heart grateful for? I conclude our time in this practice by bringing my palms together to meet. And I let my thumbs touch into heart center, and you can join me or you can remain still. And I send peace from my heart to yours. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you be at peace. And as you drift off into slumber tonight, steady your mind on your breath. Choose to soften fingers and toes. Choose to let thoughts flow in and flow out. A moment of mindfulness offers a moment of peace. We'll take that. Consistent practice of mindfulness offers consistent peace. This practice of meditation, of being with breath, is one of many mindfulness practices. You might find that movement practices soothe your soul or steady your mind. Walking in a labyrinth, in a maze, a pattern, can be a meditation. Singing, dancing, swimming, being in nature, choosing to breathe and be present in any way can be your mindfulness practice. We know this reduces stress. We know this creates ease. So as we journey through life in bodies with chronic illness, we must seek peace. We must choose to recharge our batteries in order to cope with the extra challenges that have come our way. You are not alone. You are in good company. You are in good company here, in this time now, in this live class. You are in good company when we gather online together. And even when you can't see us, know that you are never alone as you journey as a soul in body, learning what you need to learn and choosing love. I thank you for spending time with me tonight, and most of all, I thank you for your trust. I believe it takes courage to shift into mindfulness. And so I appreciate your courage. I appreciate your choice. If you have any questions, you're welcome to enter them in the chat now. Katie, we should shift and add my email as well to the final screen. I see some of you shifting off. You might shift into sweet slumber. Rest easily tonight. And if there's any way that I can help, I invite you to join us the next 2 Thursdays or at any of my weekly classes. Reach out to me by email or on Facebook. We have 2 more classes coming up in June. And then in July, I'll begin a weekly mindfulness for chronic pain class. So every Thursday night at 8 o'clock from now until a long time from now, we can be together. If you want to add into the chat how you're feeling, if you're feeling any different than we began, we can share in community what this experience is like.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, let's see what questions we have. Like Beth said, if you have any questions currently, feel free to ask. I'll start at the top.
So I did answer those mindfulness questions at the beginning. The mindfulness and meditation. Meditation is one type of mindfulness.
Perfect. And then there is, did we go over the mindfulness tips when you are in chronic pain and have limited function?
So the concept of practicing mindfulness, whether it's meditation or any practice, is that when we practice consistently, we experience the benefits. So as I mentioned, a moment of mindfulness offers a moment of peace. Consistent practice offers consistent peace. And peace is a really short summary for ease. Mindfulness practices are shown through research, and we've had this research for decades. It shows that essentially these practices help us to get calm in our body. They reduce our stress hormones, and so we reduce our stress. When we take away some of that stress, we pain. So I welcomed your doubts at the beginning because it can seem too good to be true to think that if I choose stillness or if I choose mindfulness practices that I can alleviate pain. That is not only the goal, it's possible. There's research that shows, I'll go a little bit more in depth because we'll be talking about this next week in the Mindfulness for Chronic Pain class. There's research that shows when we compare distraction techniques versus mindfulness techniques, meaning I'm in pain and I can try to distract myself from it, or I'm in pain and I can be mindful. I can choose to go into it. I can choose to be with my breath and be in my body. The research shows that the mindfulness, the going into it, actually reduces or alleviates sensation more efficiently the higher the pain is. So when we're in chronic pain and we have limited function, that's the life I live. I have limited function, I have chronic pain, I have daily pain, and in my experience, taking time to slow my breath, to steady myself, does create ease.
Wonderful. It was, let's see, we got a lot of thank yous. People saying they feel more calm, which is great. We've got a couple people on here from the Australia support group, so it's morning for them. So they're having a little harder time winding down.
Yes, this practice I do find that it's easier for me to practice at night, though I do also take time just to pause during the day. I call them time ins. And so I'll have to add to our next gathering or add to our online information or any information that goes out that I do host, I admin a Facebook group for my yoga business, my yoga and meditation practice. And we offer Facebook Live recordings so that people can get a little dose of peace anytime they need it. So they're short little videos, and I'm happy to add you to the group, so you can always email me and reach out for those. And I led a quick Facebook Live on what I call time ins, where we just take time to pause and breathe. So not necessarily that extended half-hour time that can create some sleepiness and drowsiness, but taking 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes to refocus can help us choose how we channel our energy, where we place our attention.
Perfect. There was a question about how do we sign up for the longer term weekly classes?
So the best way is to either look at my website or to look at email. So if Katie, if you're, oh, actually, we can see it on this screen. You don't need to change the screen share or the slideshow. And the bottom line, I mentioned, I'm here to help you. So pranacenter.org, or my email, which is bethgb07@gmail.com. So that will give you information on my regular Wednesday night class. I do this every Wednesday and do a guided visualization, a different visual each time. And then in July, I'll start the meditation that's specifically to ease chronic pain.
Perfect. And somebody asked about cost.
So there's different options for cost, and that's all available on the website. You can drop in anytime. You can purchase a class card, and this is similar for any studio. You can purchase a class card, and that reduces the cost. You can also reach out to me and ask me for a discount code, and I'm happy to offer a discount. I actually asked our owner to create a special discount just for these classes coming up, because I'm very aware that people who experience chronic illness and chronic pain are not always working full time, and finances can be a challenge. So we have a special discount code that's just for you.
Wonderful. Do you have any advice on how to carry on with meditation when we have distressing thoughts come into our mind?
Yes, I do. I come to this practice with struggles just like you. So I want to be clear that this is not an easy practice for me. I have been practicing for a long time, and it gets easier. It has gotten easier. I believe it would get easier for you too. So a couple of the things that we started with can be very effective. Focusing on our breath and choosing to change the way we breathe. So the breath is happening in the present moment, but that breath that we did, the blowing out the candle, that's not happening ordinarily. So it shifts our attention to the present moment in a slightly unique way. So we inhale through our nose, exhale like we're blowing out a candle, or we can exhale with a sigh. That can help us to release some of our reaction to what's happening in the moment. So the distressing thought, the distressing part, that's the part that needs the distraction. So we have to go in, and we could continue with the wave analogy, where we almost have to imagine that that distressing thought is the crest of the wave. It's the top. We have to go under it. We have to go into the heart of it. So we use our breath to get a little bit more still, to get a little bit more calm. Consistent practice is the key. Ultimately, the thoughts come in like waves and we let them go. Now, if we try it tomorrow, right? And you're welcome to try it tomorrow. See what happens. It might be easier than it would have been yesterday because you've had this dedicated half hour of practice. My recommendation, not that there's any one remedy or recipe for how to become mindful, but my recommendation would be to have at least one weekly longer session that you do with an app, with me, with a class. A longer session meaning 30 minutes, an investment of time, 40 minutes, something where you carve out time in your schedule and then practice it 10 minutes a day. So what we learn tonight can be practiced tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And you might resist it and you might resent it, and it might feel like one more thing to do. That's how I feel sometimes. It's one more thing I have to do. I can't just hold myself together with splints. I have to go and sit and meditate too. Yes, I feel that resistance as well. But it is the consistent practice that helps us to notice what we notice. It helps us to notice those distressing thoughts and release them back into the sea that they came from.
And then following on from the last question, what about if you don't have any thoughts that are intruding and your mind isn't wandering when doing this?
Congratulations. That is amazing. That is fantastic. That is perfect. That is awesome. When you find the techniques that work for you, you might feel exactly like you're in the zone. So I tend to be a visual person, and I offer guided visualization. I also offer guided visualization because it's much more common to find mindfulness breath-based programs. So I like to actually use the mind to create that scenery. So if you feel like this worked for you, whether it was the breath practice or the being practice, just sitting, or choosing to relax your body or the visualization, stick with what works. The benefits come when we find the right experience, right? Because if we're constantly not enjoying it, we're not going to stick with it, and we need to stick with it in order to receive the benefits.
Perfect. And we'll take this question as the last one. Any tips on balancing choosing peace and not letting it pull us away from issues, causes that require action?
Yes, I do have a thought, and I'm actually going to type in the Facebook group while I do this so that I don't forget. So there's a Facebook group that I run called Cope. It's actually right now it's called Coping with Coronavirus. And you're welcome to join. And it's basically, I think it's called Tools for Stress Management. I'm typing and talking at the same time here. So you're welcome to join that group because one of the things that I offer for choosing peace and not being pulled away from things that require action is I actually lead a lot of programs on sleep. And in order to sleep, I feel like we have to let go of all of those issues that require action. So my recommendation is to make a to-do list. So set a time in your day. One example, and my best practice for me is at night before I go to bed, I create a to-do list. Now, I'll create my to-do list, and given that I live with many chronic illnesses, that to-do list is probably going to have more things on it than what I'm actually going to accomplish. So if it looks too unrealistic, I shift it into days. I'm pointing to the days on my calendar. So I actually take my thoughts and I write them down, and then I know that they're recorded, and I no longer have to ruminate. I no longer have to play them through my mind. I don't have to worry about remembering, and so I let them go. So in terms of taking action, when it's time to relax or when it's time for sleep, it is not the time for action. So in the Healthy Sleep program that I'll be leading in 2 weeks, I'll use the phrase, and now it is time to sleep. So you could choose a mantra, a phrase that you repeat if you want to be relaxing or if you want to be sleeping, and usually it's sleep that people struggle with. We have to notice that interrupting thought that requires action and say, and now I choose peace. And now I choose sleep. You fill in the blank. So we take the thought, first we have to notice it. There it is, good notice. And then we let it go and we shift back to our intention. We can do it once. We can do it 100 times, we can do it 1,000 times, and we'll be doing it for the rest of our lives because these minds will be with us and they will be challenging us all along.
Well, thank you so much, Beth, for answering our questions and for having this class with us tonight. Amazing. You're getting a lot of thank yous right now. I don't know if you can see them, but lots of
I can keep them coming. I appreciate it. Thank you all for being here with me.
Wonderful. I just want to let everyone know I put back on the screen Beth's contact information so that you can visit her website, email her with any questions, visit her Facebook, and as you heard, the Facebook group that she mentioned if you'd like to join, and then her Instagram as well. Her Instagram handle is on there as well. So if you want to take a quick picture of this slide, that way you can save it, please do. Otherwise, Beth, again, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the next one. We really appreciate your time. Dysautonomia International appreciates your time. So thank you, thank you.
Thank you all for being here. Thanks for coordinating this. And I look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care.
Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful night.